Welcome to Jerry's Fish Room.
Alright guys, welcome to Jerry's Fish Room. I am so glad to be back this week. Sorry I wasn't here last week, but you saw the last video. It was the kind of the setup or the procedure that I went through to get everything ready to get this 180 tank in here. And so today it's going to be about the reveal of the 180 gallon tank and what I went through or what I did to get it set up. So with that being said, just a shout out to a few people. I want to shout out Mike and Corey from work who helped me get this tank inside. Shout out to James from Community Aquatics who helped me move things around, and you saw him in the last video. And of course, shout out to my buddy Brandon who helped me out, the Blind Fish Keeper. Go check his channel out. He helped me as well to get things set up, and we'll do some future videos. We'll talk a little bit about the 120 gallon tank. Has disappeared now that these guys were in. It is gone. It has found a new home over at Brandon's house. We moved that this past weekend, and I know he's very excited about that. Check out his channel. He'll be revealing what he did with the 120 that I gave him this past weekend. And then a real shout out. This tank is super special to me. Very, very special. My sister and my dad were involved in getting this. My dad passed away in October, and as we went through the process of just the whole closing everything out, my sister wanted to make sure that I had a bit of something to remember him by, so she helped me get this tank, and it has got a very special place in my heart. This tank is dedicated to my dad. The cool thing is over time, over the last couple years, even though he was kind of not really able to get over to the house to see this stuff, we would have conversations about my fish, and he was constantly asking about those things, and it was just something that we had that we kind of drew together on, got a lot closer. And so this tank's for you, Dad. Alright guys, so let's go check out how this tank got set up, and then we'll be back, close this thing out. Here we are putting the tank in place. Two of my co-workers, Corey and Mike, gave me a hand, and got some suction cups from one of the rental places that I work with, and thought it was going to take more guys, but man, I'll tell you what, real easy with those suction cups. Alright, so as I stated last week, or actually 2 weeks ago, video was kind of the how we got everything situated in the house. I wanted to start this video off by just showing you where these fish were prior to moving them into the 180. This is the 120. As you can tell, sandy bottom. This is where I housed them temporarily till I got the 180 in. Now this tank ultimately went to Brandon, and he's got some big plans, so again, check out his channel. But here is the 125 South American tank, and the reason why I'm showing this is because there are some changes in it as well. One of the things that's going to happen in this tank is that substrate that you see there, we will show shortly, will be coming out of there and is going to go into the 180, as it is an aragonite substrate, which is a little bit more conducive for African cichlid. Now step one, and I've sped this video up, is to kind of remove some of this stuff out of the tank, but you'll notice that I actually did not drain the water for removing the substrate. What I did was, as you can see, is I took the glass lids actually and turned around and put it up and kind of keeping the fish all to one side. Removing the substrate out this way is probably not the best, but keeping the glass up and to do it with a full tank of water, I wanted to eliminate as much of the stress on the fish as possible, since this is a significant change. Now you see the substrate for the most part is gone, or mostly gone, and man, that water is pretty cloudy there. and I clean that up later with water changes. So here we go. I am just putting the substrate, the aragonite, into the 180. Decided to do this because, again, I wanted to keep the beneficial bacteria. I have some solid filters that are set up on the 125, and in order to do that, I just wanted to keep as much of the bacteria as possible. So this is like just really for the cichlids, making it a giant water change. Now there's probably 120 140 pounds of aragonite that was in the 125, but I really wanted a good thick substrate, and to darken it up a little bit, so I went ahead and I got some additional Eco Complete aragonite, as you saw, and just coating the top with about an inch or inch and a half of black substrate to keep it a little bit darker. Now I do know that in the long run this is going to get mixed together, and we'll get back to that salt and pepper look, I'm sure, to some degree, as the fish start to do what they do best, and that is to rearrange their surroundings. So here you see me putting in a couple of plants from Elite Cichlids. Great company when they were in business. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. And put those in for breaking up line of sight, and then also put in the fake driftwood, which is from Universal Rocks, that Brandon gave me. Just again trying to keep the tank decorations kind of low to the substrate, or low to the bottom of the tank, to allow enough room for these haps and peacocks. Well, don't have any peacocks yet, but maybe in the future, just the swim space that they really like to have. So here you see me. One of the things I love about these cabinets from Glass Cages is just the ease in which the door just comes off. There's no hinges, so you don't have to worry about that. I've had a stand where the hinges broke after time, and then a lot of space underneath for the filters. So here we are. What I decided to do also to help the process is to drain about 1/3 of the water out of this tank where the Africans were, and then go ahead and start pumping it back into the 180. I had already started filling it up at this time, and I will talk more about filtration and all of what I put on this tank in a future video, and the heater and lights and all that good stuff. But here's the finished product, at least an up-close look at the fish, and again, the glass is just amazingly clear. All the fish really pop. The colors are strong. Again, I expect, as you can see a little bit in the background, eventually this substrate will probably get mixed up to where more of the white will come through. But that's okay. Just wanted to keep it like this for now. And again, salt and pepper look is a good look for the tank as well. And the fish look really happy. A lot more space for them to swim around in. And man, I'm telling you, I'm just totally stoked about how good this tank looks. Now I'm going to look at the 125. I ended up redoing the substrate in this. So I took the sand out of the 120, and then I coated it on top with pool filter sand. I used Quikrete pool filter sand that I bought from Home Depot, and I'll say that from a substrate standpoint, cost effective wise, is extremely cheap. I think I paid about $14 a bag for a 50-pound bag. So now here is the kind of the surprise thing that I added to the tank, and this again is an idea I got from one of my co-workers, Mike, and that was I put the LED strips on the back of the tank, so it gives a little bit of a reflection off the wall. And showing you the tank kind of at night here with a little bit of the different color arrangements on the lights. But the blue light that you see on the back of that wall is from those LEDs, and it just makes the tank, in my opinion, really pop. And want to know what your all thoughts are on this, and what you like, what you don't like. But man, I'm excited about it, and really stoked about this tank. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's the process I went through for setting up the 180-gallon African cichlid tank. I am so looking forward to what I'm going to do in the future with it. I can pretty much guarantee, while I have not done much in the way of mail order for cichlids. In fact, none, other than some South Americans that I got from Dan, my channel sponsor. And again, so just check out the link, and he'll hook you up with some really cool fish, some really good fish, inexpensive shipping rates. But I am planning on reaching out to James at Cichlid Shack. Yep, that's the sponsor, Ben's channel. He's got a discount code that he's given to Ben. I'm going to use it. So in the next couple of months, I'm going to save a little bit of money, and I plan on ordering 4 or 5 fish, possibly to go in this tank. What I'll do is anything as you look at the tank, any suggestions you have, I'm looking for suggestions of what to add. I'm probably going to add at least 4 more fish in this tank to kind of top it all off, but I've got a couple in mind. I've talked to Ben a couple times, and look forward to hearing from you guys as to what you think should go in here. But again, special shout out to Joe with Glass Cages. Guys, if you want a custom aquarium, and yes, they're a little pricey, but at the same time, I gotta say, man, this thing will last forever. It is a beast of a tank. They do tremendously quality work. We'll do a breakdown on the tank maybe later in a future video. I'll break it down. I'll tell you how what I set it up with, what filters we're running, what lights I'm running. Substrate, you can kind of see what I've done, but we'll do a quick video on that at a later date, and we'll go through that, and then we'll probably do a species profile on the fish that are in here as well. So guys, I appreciate all that you've done. I appreciate the support through this process and supporting the channel. Just remember, if you like what you're seeing, give it a thumbs up. Let YouTube know there's some good stuff happening out there. And again, thank you so much. And until next week, you know what's coming next. That's right. Keep loving the fish, guys.